Thanks, Anne, for traveling from Berlin, and welcome on stage.
Thank you for the kind introduction. I'm Anne. I'm really happy to be here. I actually haven't done an in-person presentation in a long while, nor have I been to Hamburg, but I've been to Copenhagen recently. So I would like to subscribe for the tour through Copenhagen next time. So yeah, really cool. I'm very excited to speak about my kind of uncertainty. But, sorry, trying to fiddle with it. But at the same time, after the first talk, I'm realizing, okay, I'm also really excited to hear more people speaking about uncertainty, because I can already see patterns emerge. And maybe that has something to do with being a researcher. As you've just heard, I'm working in a digital medical device company called ADA. And yeah, I've worked in several other startups before, but for some reason, my work experience at ADA has been completely different to before. And yeah, maybe in hindsight, I know why now. So I'm maybe more sharing a personal story than a professional story today. But yeah, let's start. Yeah, you all know the pandemic hit. Don't really need to say more. It really changed a lot of things, amongst others, my work life. Home became my office. Work and life became one. The way I conducted research completely changed to a face-to-face activity or activities to this video call kind of research activity, which can be good, can be bad. Yeah, lots of things changed. Not only the work I was doing, but also the company I was working for. Yeah, I went from working as an individual contributor to being asked, hey, do you want to lead the UX research team? So this was completely unexpected, something to get used to as well. I started yeah, with a different, I guess, society reality, a different work reality, a different, yeah, a different challenge. So it wasn't that much fun, to be honest. I think this just wraps it up perfectly. Yeah, so struggling with uncertainty at all levels. You know it, the pandemic just wouldn't stop. I was waiting for it. I just wanted it to be over and just really thought it will be over. But it just wasn't, or I mean, we're still in it. Then on top of that, many things which I thought worked in my previous jobs just didn't really apply. They became irrelevant. I needed to stop using my go-to methods. Research topics completely changed, as in health literacy became really big. Access to healthcare, access to health information, it kind of completely took over, but also it's moving. Obviously, participants' reality changed, so their attitude towards health changed, their needs within the healthcare context changed, and this was completely new. There's a, maybe my ears are too small. There is a new medical device regulation coming into force, which is obviously having a huge impact on the industry I'm working in, because it's heavily regulated, and any product you ship in the medical device industry needs to adhere to certain requirements to comply. And obviously, as I said, ADA went from being a normal startup to a scale-up. So it really meant new colleagues coming, old colleagues leaving. It really went into chaos mode. Processes not being in place, structures not being in place. So And then obviously in my new role as a team lead, I needed to make sure, okay, the team is all right, or I thought I needed to make sure the team is all right. There's lots of confusion going on in the team because of all the reasons I've just mentioned before. So great, the team was exhausted, and so was I. And I just couldn't really make sense of it, or yeah, couldn't really zoom out. And then I had a seminar on organizational development that changed everything. It sounds like the total no-brainer, but at that point of time, I couldn't really see the forest for the trees. I just wasn't really able to take a different perspective. I couldn't zoom out. And what I really needed was this change of perspective, like go on to a meta level. And yeah, maybe this might actually help you as well. So yeah, it can't really say everything made sense, but maybe more sense. So what am I trying to say, despite the technical problems? I got completely sidetracked. I lost sight of my surroundings. And I completely underestimated the complexity and the pace of change that was happening around me. Pretty much what Chris said before, everything is just changing. It's just, it's really hard to keep up. And I kind of forgot, okay, this is the new now, this is the new reality. And it's actually facing all of us. Obviously, this is not just me, but this is everyone around you, like, I guess you as well. So yeah. But the good news is maybe there are some theories, some models out there which can help us all trying to make sense of it, help us navigating this so-called uncertainty. And yeah, one of these theories is or a model that is connected to theory of self-organization is what I'm gonna hopefully introduce to you. So, without going into crazy details, one way to help you understand the context better is categorizing a system along 2 dimensions. So, one dimension being the organization. So this refers to the structure. Is it simple? Is it complex? And then the other dimension is the system status, which is basically how does the the system behave? So it's stable or unstable. And based on these 2 dimensions, you get 4 types of systems. And yeah, to quickly explain what these 4 types of systems are, on the left-hand side, you see you have simple and complex organizations. So simple meaning there are little elements, there's little connectivity between these elements, simple. And then you increase the complexity, that means you increase the number of parts in the system, but also the level of interconnectedness within the system. And then you've got the system status. As I said, it refers to how does the system behave. If it's stable, it can be predicted. So you do something, there's a predicted outcome. And unstable, there's a unpredictable change. It's spontaneously, so you cannot predict it. All right, what do we do with this now? So categorizing systems is one thing, but I guess it's more helpful if you know what to do when you know what kind of system you have in front of you, so that you actually can take an action and get to the desired outcome. So these 2 types of system on the left, they're simple, stable, complex, stable, and the outcome can be predicted. So past experience, past knowledge is relevant to get to an outcome. And the one simple and stable, it's this classical cause and effect. You do something, you get the effect, and you can control it. And then complex and stable, in German, Soll-Ist-Vergleich. You have a desired state, and you kind of navigate along the way, and kind of always check in, are we doing well? And you potentially steer against it if it's not going along the way as you want it. And then, which is probably more interesting for us here, we've got the systems on the right, the unstable systems. And I feel like the majority of us know this simple and unstable system. I think you try out something, you make a mistake, but then you eventually get there. So like watching a bee in a glass bottle trying to get out. Eventually the bee will get there, but it's trial and error. It's not like a pattern. It's not a structured way of getting out. And then you have these complex and unstable systems where, yeah, nothing really works, or nothing of the known works, and it's you really need to rely on, okay, eventually something will emerge, a new pattern which will help you get to the outcome. You don't know how, but you're getting there eventually, and then you can draw learnings from it. So yeah, these 4 systems, and you probably have came to the conclusion already, the majority of us are going to be working in these unstable, or complex systems, because this is where innovation happens. These are the systems which are fit, or hopefully fit, for a more demanding economy, an ever-changing society. Yeah. Okay, so I've been rather abstract this whole time. So to kind of go down a few levels, I want to introduce the ship metaphor, to maybe explain again what I mean with simple stable, complex stable, and so on. Okay, imagine you're on a ship, you're sailing in known waters, you know there's no wind, or enough wind to sail, you just want to stay on course. Okay, simple, stable, nothing really to worry about, you can do it. Then complex, stable. You're on a ship, you want to sail towards a known coast, and you need to use a map, a compass to navigate. So this is kind of increased complexity, because you need to get there to the coast, but you've got everything you need. Also good. Okay, then third scenario, we're kind of entering the unstable environment, and rather complex. So you're on a ship, and you want to anchor in a harbor. So you know the water's deep enough, it's a harbor, you know it, but then there are other ships around. So the situation is stable, the water is fine, but there are more elements in the system, there are other ships. So it's a bit of unpredictability there. And you need to kind of wiggle your way into the harbor. So trial and error is your way forward. And then, 4th scenario, you kind of turn into Christopher Columbus. And you only know you want to discover a new world. So you don't know your destination, but you also don't know how to get there. So, uncertainty at the maximum. And all you can do is stick to your vision, rely on your intuition, work with the crew you've got, really raise awareness for the surroundings, as in knowing maybe there's a, I don't know, like a rock coming up, and you need to rely on your team to tell you, hey, there's a rock, okay, let's navigate this way. Hey, wind is coming from somewhere, you need to rely on this really interconnectedness you just cannot do without. And maybe this is the way forward. I think Chris has mentioned collaboration is key, and this is most certainly also true for this unstable, very complex systems. We just don't know how to get there, but we know, maybe have an idea where to get there, and we need to come up with new patterns, in this case, a path to move forward. So, trying to wheel it in. We know there are different types of systems. We know there are certain strategies you can apply to get to maybe where you want. So why is not everyone like dealing with it? Why is not everyone jumping at the occasion of diving into uncertainty? Well, we're all human, and there's a tendency to hold on to things we know. We, by all means, try to keep things stable. So letting go and risking something is just not human nature. And yeah, it just costs energy. So basically, what I referred to at the beginning, it's a lot. But we still need to do it nonetheless. So maybe this is the bad news. But I think we have some of the answers already by trying to understand what context we are in. And I mean, it can differ. We're not all in like unstable and complex situations. They differ. But by understanding what my context is, this already helps reducing the risk of perception of risk. And it also kind of increases the readiness to jump. And I would like to share a bit of maybe personal learnings, how I kind of turned to being more curious despite all the chaos around me. And maybe it helps some of you as well. So, this may sound simple, but not so much actually. It took me a long time to really acknowledge, okay, what is going on around me, and it is fine. Basically, maybe not accepting it, but acknowledging it, it's taking place. And that means missing structures, no processes, all the planning is in vain, I'm constantly engaging in. But this was all part of this journey, trying to find a new pattern within my organization to maybe find a way forward, which is specific to my organization. And then I started to reflect on my openness to change. I always thought, oh, I'm so open. Completely not. I was holding on to many things. Like, I'm a planner. Like, I like structure. And I still think it's very relevant, but maybe not at all times. Or maybe you need to have different sets of structures in different places, and planning cadences can be adjusted. So step by step, I was actually able to let go. Then I also started to ask myself, okay, what can I actually learn from the situation? What can I learn from different perspectives, even though it's not my perspective? I think this is always like an interesting question to ask, okay, how does this person organize knowledge, understanding? Is there anything I can learn from it as well? Because it differs so widely from how I organize my thinking. And then I actually also started to pay more attention to the physical and the emotional state I'm in. Meaning, okay, am I in this react mode, or am I actually neutral? because I think it's been mentioned before, you need to have a certain level of neutrality so that you can actually perceive, so that you can actually ask questions, be curious. Because if you're constantly in a react mode, you kind of go like I don't know what it is, you're blind, you're in a tunnel vision, like I've been in before. But taking a step back, relaxing, possibly engaging with how am I feeling today, it actually does help. So it kind of increases your awareness. So many exercises out there and tools, but I can only recommend checking in with yourself. And then I also kind of started to think, okay, what can I keep stable in this craziness? And the answer was always relationships. So maybe the relationship with my team, with people outside my team. And this really helped navigating through everything. Maybe not everything, but really keeping this connectedness up, or maybe also investing in being connected. And that being said, not just within the UX research team, the design team, but across the organization, this has really helped. This is really meant for us as a team, but also the organization to tackle really complex problems, because healthcare is more of a complicated industry to work in, and not just because health systems are different, regulations are different, but people's attitudes towards health are different. Yeah. So, in a way, final words, jumping into the unknown is not so much fun when you do it by yourself. It happens, but I think it's better together. And if there is something to take away, I think it's most certainly that gaining this understanding for the context you are in, the system you're navigating in, is key to then think of, am I just controlling, regulating, am I searching, do I need to find a new pattern to help me get to where I want? It's really important. And then maybe also as a result, when looking at complex and unstable systems, there is not a solution you can copy, I guess. So it will be your own solution for this particular context. It's just too different often. This cross-functional teamwork, highly connected teamwork really helps. And then, yeah, maybe more just a reminder, holding on is completely normal. You just need to realize that you're holding on and potentially think about how to change it, and developing a certain curiosity. Not always easy. Yes, and this is it.